Hello everyone and welcome back. So today I said I would be reviewing the Aurora by iWinks. Now I don't really feel like a week is long enough to review a product like this. After all, there are many different factors that can affect one's sleep and one's lucidity. So really I feel there needs to be further experimentation to really conclude how effective the Aurora is. That being said, I did say that this week I would make a video about it, so what I think I'm going to do is make another video further down the line where I've had more of an opportunity to fully explore the Aurora. So today is just going to be my initial feelings and reactions to using the Aurora for the last week. I'll also be talking about the app, or to be more specific, the desktop version of the app, as that's the one that I've been using. So we'll have a quick look at the various functions, how it works, and some interesting things I found out about my own sleep cycle. So let's begin. So when I first got the Aurora, I charged it up on my PC with the USB cable provided, which also gave me an opportunity to set up the REM stimulation effects for lucidity and apply them to the Aurora. Now you can choose to have light, sounds, or both. Initially I went for both, using red lights at 100% brightness, and I felt that the Mario theme song would be a good one to use. Turned out it wasn't. It was actually incredibly annoying. I didn't even really look through the other songs available. I just saw that Mario was there and thought, brilliant. The first night I did have a lucid dream. Now I'm not sure if it was down to the device or if it just happened naturally, but it was quite vivid and reasonably controlled. I did start to wake up, but the flashing lights and the music did help me to transition back into the dream. So it worked pretty well as a dream exit induced lucid dreaming tool. However, on the flip side, there were times when the lights and music just woke me up. The following night I disabled the music. I really didn't think it was that helpful. And I did indeed have a lot of very long and vivid dreams with some periods of semi-lucidity. I remember every now and then I'd get blinded by the sun and I wouldn't be able to do anything whilst that was happening. I couldn't see anything, I couldn't really move, I just had to wait for that to finish and then continue on with the dream. It was only in the morning when I realised that the blinding red light from the sun was actually the LED lights from the Aurora. I used it for a total of 7 nights, I think, and I have experimented a little bit with the settings, such as turning the brightness down and changing the colours from red to green, seeing if that had any kind of effect. I did find that sort of later on during the night, when I'd be in and out of sleep and I'd be nodding off, the LED lights would kick off, so I was transitioning directly into a REM period. But usually that ended up just sort of startling me awake and didn't help me transition into the dream. So again, I think I really kind of need to experiment with the brightness and maybe the actual colour and see how effective that is, because so far with it being quite bright, it just wakes me up. It doesn't really help. In these 7 nights I've had 4 lucid dreams. Were they all super realistic? No. Did I have full control? No. Did they go on for ages? No. Was it all down to the Aurora? It's hard to say. I have been out of practice for a while, and although 4 lucid dreams in a week is something that I have been able to do in the past, it's usually been during a very active phase of lucid dreaming practice. There could also very well be a placebo effect going on. You know, I've been waiting for the Aurora for a really long time, and when I finally got it I was really excited to try it. I believed it was going to work, I believed I was going to get lucid, so it could very well just be that I was expecting to have a lucid dream and therefore I had one. Perhaps it wasn't a direct result of actually using the Aurora. So very quickly I'm going to talk about the app. Okay, so this is the app for the Aurora. As I said, I've been using the desktop version. I just find that a lot easier. And I don't really like using my phone because it confuses me. So this is basically it. As you can see, there's options here to check for updates. to look at the firmware information. A lot of things that I don't quite understand, but I'm sure some people will be interested in that aspect of it, so there you go. But anyway, just quickly looking through some of the things. So here is where you will program what you want your Aurora to do. So here is the REM stim options, which you can turn on and off. The LED stimulation, so at the moment I've just got it on green at 70% brightness. You can choose how many times it blinks, the blink rate. You can also choose other effects if that's what you want. I haven't actually messed around with those yet. This is for the sound, so again I've turned the music off because it was more of a disturbance rather than anything else, so yeah, there's that. There is also alarm options. I haven't used this yet, so I can't really speak too much about these things, but as you can see, these are all the options that you do have if you want to set it as an alarm, and just your MISC options there. If I go on to sessions, we can see what I've recorded so far. So this was from the 28th of January. This is sort of a basic graph of what my sleep was like. As you can see, there was quite a lot of REM there. If I go here and click on filter data, as you can see, it's a lot more detailed. You can see how many times I moved. These are when the LED lights went off. I can also show my awakenings, so times when I woke up throughout the night, as well as having this sleep tracking. There's also a journal, which is pretty good, especially if you're wanting to use it for lucid dreaming. I haven't used the journal option just because I have my own journal and I haven't felt the need to use this, but it's a really good feature. I'm quite glad there's something like that. Going back to this, if I click here, I can see a graph or a pie chart. Is that a pie chart? I don't know. Of my of the percentage of my sleep. So as you can see, I had a lot of REM sleep that night. Very little in the way of light sleep. And actually, what I found quite interesting is, after looking at this, I wanted to see what the average sleep cycle should look like, because for me that seemed quite a lot on the REM. I mean, in total that's 5 hours and 44 minutes of REM sleep. And I did find an article that said if you have over 25% REM sleep on a regular basis, this can make things such as depression and anxiety worse. It can make you more irritable, very tired, and I thought that was pretty interesting given my sort of mental health issues, let's say. And I also looked more into people who have psychosis and what their sleep cycle excuse me, what their sleep cycle looks like. And it does seem that a lot of people who have those kind of issues around, psychosis, schizophrenia, things along that spectrum, typically have more REM sleep. Now, obviously, I haven't been doing this very long. I've only been doing it a week, and as you can see, it's usually, I've found it's sort of usually around the 50% mark, a bit less that day, 44%. But yeah, it seems that I've got quite a lot of REM sleep every single night, and it's interesting to kind of see how my mind works, really, how my brain works, and if this could help me to learn more about my own experiences with psychosis and things like that. It's just, it's interesting to actually have it there physically, where I can see that something isn't quite right. Obviously, as I said, I've only been doing it a week. It's not conclusive of anything, so I'm going to continue to use that and continue to track my sleep and just see how things go. So again, this was Friday the 2nd, and this is typically what my sleep looks like. So yeah. So I really like this aspect of it. I mean, I know there are plenty of other devices like the Fitbit, which also, track sleep cycles. But I mean, I've never used a Fitbit or anything like that, but I really like this. I think this is really impressive, actually, and I'm really glad that iWinks have put so much effort into the sleep tracking. I know that for a while they were just a lucid dreaming headband, and then over time they started focusing more on the sleep tracking, which I know people were kind of pissed off about because it seemed like they were moving away from their initial goal, I guess. But actually, I'm really glad that they implemented so much of this into the Aurora. So that was my first week with the Aurora. What I plan on doing now is being more active in my lucid dreaming practice, getting back into all of that and seeing how things improve alongside using the Aurora. I feel it's too early for me to give it a definite thumbs up, but so far I do like it, and I really appreciate the amount of work that has gone into this. I know that I often joke about having to wait 4 years for it to arrive, but I would rather wait for a solid and reliable product than get something that's half finished and not well thought out. So I definitely take my hat off to iWinks for the amount of work that they have put into it so far, and I know that they continue to strive to make it better, continuing to work on the firmware, wanting people to give them feedback on what they've found. So I know that they're going to continue to build and work on this product as best they can. Is it worth buying? Again, I feel it's too early for me to tell, but I will say one thing. If you are a beginner, if you're completely new to lucid dreaming, then I think that devices and supplements aren't really going to be that helpful. Maybe they might help you to realise that you're dreaming, but they aren't going to teach you how to maintain awareness throughout a dream. They're not going to teach you anything about dream control or stabilising a dream or prolonging it or getting the most out of your lucid dreaming experience. The reason that I do try supplements and devices is because I'm just interested to see how they work, if they can improve my lucidity, or if, by taking them or using them, my lucid dreaming experiences are different somehow. So for me, it's more about just experimenting and seeing what effects they have on my lucid dreaming journey. After all, I have been doing this for about 7.5 years. I don't need supplements and devices to get lucid, but I just enjoy trying new things, and also as well, I find that they can be helpful during dry spells. So really, I don't think you should ever rely on an external source for something like lucid dreaming. That isn't to say I'm against devices or supplements. I do use supplements, and I am using this, but I would say if you are at the beginning of your lucid dreaming journey, that I'd save you money, really. But if you're someone who is kind of intermediate to advanced, and again just want to try something a little bit different, or maybe just need a little bit of a boost, I would say that so far this seems like a pretty solid device. Again, too early to really conclude that. It's too early to really tell if the lucid experiences I've had this week are completely down to the Aurora, or if it's just something that's occurred through a placebo or just naturally happening, because even when I'm not actively practicing lucid dreaming, I still will have lucid moments. So again, until I've done more experimentation, I can't say for certain, but I do definitely like it so far. I'm really into the whole tracking my sleep. Originally I didn't care about that, I was all for the lucid dreaming side of it, but being able to see my sleep cycles, as I've already said, and seeing how much REM sleep I've been getting, and the percentages of sleep, how many times I wake up during the night, because I know that I wake up quite a lot, but I also realise that because I wake up with a lot of bruises, and I have once woken up in different clothes, so I know I'm doing something in my sleep that I'm not aware of, and kind of seeing that, I wake up a lot more than I realised I did. Stuff like that, it's interesting to see. It's interesting to see why I might be really tired all the time because I'm perhaps not getting enough of one type of sleep, you know, stuff like that. So that side of it has been really interesting. I think that's really awesome, and especially if that's something you're into, then I do think this is a pretty decent device. Again, I know there are other things available. I haven't had any experience with those things, so I can't really say. As a lucid dreaming device, you know, it seems to be on the right track. I definitely think it has helped me. You know, like as I said, when it was really red, I thought the sun was blinding me. You know, stuff like that. It's kind of helped me to maintain some awareness and some focus. But as I said, you know, I'll have to use it some more before I can really say how much is the device and how much is me. So, thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope this has been reasonably helpful and given you something to think about, especially if you were wanting to try this device for yourself. I'd like to say a big thanks to iWinks. I still don't have my t-shirt. Water under the bridge. It's fine. Unless you want to send me it, or anything else for free. You know, I won't mind. Yeah, thanks to iWinks for the amount of work they've put in. You know, even if this device doesn't end up being the miracle device for everybody, it's still a pretty decent bit of kit, you know, and it's pretty comfortable to wear as well. I will say, I was scared it was going to be like a big brick on my forehead, but it's not. It's very light. You don't even realise it's there. So thank you very much for watching, guys. If you would like to support me on Patreon, you can. The link will be in the description as ever, as well as a 20% discount on Vivid Dream products. So yes, thank you very much for watching. I have been Max, aka the Aurora Rabbit. I'll see you in the next video.